So the story is about this young man who kind of finds the wicked world outside, and sin allures him. So now we are in a bordello.
Lures him from the outside and you're in a bordello.
Yes.
There you are. Oh, and tassels on your... Oh, excellent. Oh, sweet. Perfect. You're the best. Look at those perfect circles. I love it. Oh my gosh, I love it. Yay. Incredibly awesome though, because they're so long.
Yeah.
Usually, you know, when you're twirling them, they go, you know, then you got this great big flame, you're like trying to untie her, you know. She's so perfect. Everything is perfect, because you don't have them that long. It's very dangerous.
Yeah, they were custom made for the thing. I have used them later though, I kind of like it. But the pasties are huge, as I sent you, it's like...
Yeah, to cover up.
Bikinis?
Yes.
Doesn't really show my...
Bikinis for your boobies.
Yes. But that was it. Short and... But later it became like... when I put them out, I was standing there for a while, so they didn't cover me immediately. That was
and then it's sort of like... And
Yeah.
then you just like disappear or something. That was awesome. It's all awesome. I mean, there's just nobody. I've never heard of anybody in 50 years, who's ever been in an opera, whether it was 5 seconds or 5 hours. You know, I've never. They don't ask. That's when my mother found out I was a dancer. Oh my gosh, can you imagine dancing and you're barely a dancer and suddenly you look down and there's your mother? Your June Cleaver on the Beaver Show type thing. Mother sitting there. Oh, I screamed. I jumped off. You know, rage outruns fear. She caught up with me. What are you doing? I was like, and of course, all the dressing room, all the girls are laughing. Your mother got you. But it didn't help. It didn't help a bit.
But she has seen you after, and she has collected all your
if it wasn't
clippings,
for
and
her.
you wouldn't have them all.
Yeah, because sometimes because you couldn't carry them around. I'd have to have 5 steamer trunks, you know, 30-something years worth. So I just take a bunch and throw them in a manila envelope and send them to her. And then she'd just take them and throw them in a box and stick them in the attic. Thank heavens. I wouldn't have anything hardly.
Yeah.
30 years, I probably did maybe this much. Because I hated to do the magazines. And then when I had the accident, I had about 4 or 5. I did 4 or 5 different magazines. And it was a Catholic hospital, and the nurses were nuns. So they brought these in with my pictures in them, and you know what they did with them? They went right into the trash. And of course, I'm all broken up, you know, with casts on it and everything. I was like, oh, don't do that. Don't do that. You know, goodbye. I don't even know what you know, I was in. But yeah, I'm excited to see these. She was the craziest woman. She had breast cancer and she lost 1 breast. And then she got better, you know, got well. And she calls up her booking agent. She goes, well, I'm all better now, so you can book me. He goes, Jenny, you have 1 tata. She goes, and the point is, book me. You know, she went right back to work.
Yeah.
And she was just listening, and I tell you, she was...
So you worked with one breast?
Not much, but yeah,
still.
she did. Just for, you know, clowning around and being, because she was such a clown. Sometimes she didn't take it off, sometimes she did it with on, but she was working at this end of, say, like Hollywood Boulevard, and I was working at the other end. She was working at one club and I was working at the other, and I could never get down and see her because we were featured performers and we were on at the same time. I was always praying somebody wouldn't show up for work so I could get off early, you know, and then rush down and
Yeah.
catch her, you know.
Yes.
What's it say here? Me now.
I already made my choice.
Okay. That's good to see.
Yes.
Well, this is a little bit older, I can tell now.
Mae West again.
I loved Mae West. I stole her everything she had. I looked at her and she was this big woman. And I watched her walk and I watched her talk with the men. And so I
Was
took
it
her.
so that you met her?
Oh yeah, she
Yes.
did a show in Vegas with all her muscle men, you know, and all
Yeah.
that. Yeah, they picked her up and carried her
She
out.
was
Oh.
already some...
Yeah, she was either 70s or 80s or something. I don't remember. But she was quite older, and I just looked at all her crystals and bling and everything, and I just stole it all. I put it right inside Satan's Angel, and it came out as whatever I am, you know.
It came out as you.
Yeah. But that's what I did. I took Gypsy Rose Lee's, how do you say it? Guts. Her balls. She was a very gutsy, ballsy woman. She was not shy. And when she performed on stage, she was not shy. Verbally or physically. Don't let Natalie Wood fool you. Gypsy. That was definitely when she first started out.
But that's the thing, you know, there is a lot of talk about stealing and what it means to make a, you know, you make a, like an homage to someone or what it means. But then, of course, everybody takes inspiration and little things from here and there, but you can't really call it if it's stealing or not. I mean, when you just take it inside and scramble it again and make it your own. I mean, I have never looked at you and thought, oh, she took everything from Mae West.
Oh, no,
You know
because I would never...
what I mean.
Yeah, I would never do that. I just took, you know, like Carrie Fennell, she would walk on stage and she had these little heart-shaped, real low, and she could make her breast pop out. It would just jump out of her dress and go, ding, 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 ding.
Yeah.
I'd be like, come on, do it, do it, do it. In my whole life, it's never popped anywhere, you know. Maybe down, but never anyplace else, you know.
Never out of the dress.
Yes, never. So but I took her like her little funniness and things that she did and put it in me. And then I took the gutsiness of Gypsy and I took the bling
You
from...
worked with Gypsy?
she had me on her television
Yes.
show. And I was the first exotic dancer and they wouldn't let me on. Boy, she was mad too. And she said so right on TV. But then I took Lily St. Cyr's, her class, style, grace. So you get 1 minute of Lily in my number, and the rest is all the girls and me thrown in together. mostly a little bit more Mae West, a little more honky tonk.
Yeah.
Oh, baby. So this is when the astronauts in 1970, when they went and they came down and they all prayed, like, God, thank you for, you know, us going to the moon or whatever, you know, out there, and we came back alive. So everything in here is all political, whatever, you know, blah, blah, blah. And then you get to one area that is called show business. So they have Lily St. Cyr, voila. Anne Coriel, voila. Gypsy Rose Lee, la la. My ass. Are you kidding me? At the Teddy Bear Lounge, Park Square in Boston this week, feature is Satan's Angel, and her co-feature is Hell's Angel. You dirty rat.
Talk about original names.
Yeah, because I wanted to use Hell, and because I started so many years before her, They wouldn't let me use hell because it was a dirty word, and you couldn't put hell on the marquee. You couldn't say it on the radio. You couldn't say it on TV. So then we had to sit down and think and make our brains go crazy, so we thought of Satan's Angel. And then they said, well, because there's a motorcycle gang called Hell's Angels. They're outlaws. They're bad. So then I go to work in Canada, and I have all these bikers, like 50 bikers. Grundy, the beer, the tats, they said, those group of motorcyclists, they want to talk to you. I was like, uh-oh. Uh-oh, why would this outlaw gang called the Satan's Angels in Canada want to talk to me? He said, you're using, I got to tell you this, I got to show you this. Okay, like this. So the tables were all together because they did it that way. Because they wanted everybody to look, row after row. So the president's like sitting in the middle, and I'm like sitting next to him. And what they call the sergeant of arms, which is like his right-hand man, the ones with all the weapons, and so if you don't like a rival gang, he knows where all the dead bodies are buried and where all the... So anyway, so I'm sitting here, the president's here, the sergeant of arms is here, and then I'm talking to him, and he said, so you're using our name, huh? I said, how long has your gang been together? He said, I don't know, 5 years or something. I said, well, I've been using it for 15, so like that. And then the sergeant of the arms, right, he's a really scary guy, and he leans over and he says, he looks at me like, and I'm like, oh, shit, and here I am in my little Japanese kimono tied up, just in little high heels, and I'm like, oh, shit. And he leans over and he just looks at me really growly, and then he looks over and he said, hey, boss, I got to take a leak, which means he has to use the bathroom. And he said, so go. So he's okay. He unzips his pants and pulls it out and pees right there. I'm like, okay, this is the time I cross my legs, and move a little bit more over. Scared the piss out of me. And then they said, okay, you can keep the name. Oh, I can keep the name? I've had it trademarked since I was a kid, just because you're a dangerous motorcycle? All the stories I could tell you. But anyway, so this was the picture of Satan's Angel and Hell's Angel. She was a young new girl that was coming out, and so he wanted it to be kind of like a devilish type of show. And this was around the corner from what they called the combat zone. So, do you know what combat is like when the guys in war go? That's what they called the block where all the stripper, theaters were, and clubs and nightclubs. They called it the combat zone. And then this was the one that we recreated.
Yeah, this is the one we're going to see now at the festival.
This was me then doing it.
Beautiful.
Yeah. So I'm slowly stripping. I've always had big negligees, always. I like them big. The coats like this here don't have to be big, but I like a lot of yardage, a lot. And this time, I traveled very light. I come with 2 little suitcases. Usually I come with 4.
Yeah, you do.
Easy. With my girlfriend packing one and then this and that. We're loaded. We're really loaded. Because my one negligee is 150 yards with 2 rows of feathers on it all the way around. So you have to do this 150 times. Yeah, it's big.
So it's recreated just for Helsinki?
Yes, cost me money. Lots of money. And then this here is a hood, just like the other one. This one comes up. Has a big hood for the Snow Queen. just for her.